On these two buildings across the street here. The first one is the Bricks building, and this is the site of the second Cooper's department store, which Katie's going to show you here. And again, it's kind of hard to see, but they are on the ground floor. And so this Bricks building was created by Herman Bricks, and he made a pioneer contribution to the development of Coalinga, and he was influential in the commercial expansion of Fresno. He was born in Germany in 1862, immigrated to the United States in the 1880s, eventually arriving in California. He and his wife were among the pioneer settlers of the Coalinga area on the western edge of the San Joaquin Valley. And after unsuccessful attempt at grain farming, he left to seek his fortune in the Alaskan gold rush. Meanwhile, Coalinga underwent an oil boom, and he returned with a modest stake from his Yukon endeavors, and he formed a water company on his homestead and made a fortune investing in oil properties. By 1915, Bricks and his associates owned 14,000 acres of 1,400 acres of west side oil lands. So he relocated to Fresno in 1903, where he invested heavily in properties in that city after 1909. So you've probably seen the Bricks Mansion, which is on Fresno Street. So he built that, but he also was an important stockholder in the Fresno Hotel Fresno development, and he was responsible for the construction of the four-story brick apartments in 1912. Now he died in 1915, but he really wanted to build a wonderful office building, and so his dream did come true by his estate. And so this building was constructed in 1922. So it's a very beautiful building, and today is the Fresno Department of Health. Here, I'll just take that. And then Katie's going to talk about this building right to the left here.
All right, so in this one you can see very clearly that Kinema is right next to the Bricks Theater. You have the landmark of the San Joaquin Light and Power building in the back. And the Kinema Theater was one of the first movie theaters in town, built specifically for movies, as opposed to like a storefront theater where they kind of just converted an already existing space into kind of a sloping floor and putting a projector over the door and adding a piano player in the corner and just kind of playing whatever they could find. It was designed by G.H. King and was built in 1913. Unfortunately, it was destroyed by fire in 1919, and before that they had a grand opening with the mayor, and they turned on this bright electric lights, and it was really like a big deal at the time in 1913. It was destroyed by fire in 1919. The new Kinema was designed by G. Albert Lansborough and opened in 1920 and existed until 1954, though the last 2 years that it was around, it was called the Rivoli Theater, and in 1953 it was leased by Mr. Hardy, who also had a theater down here. I don't think it was ever the Hardy's Theater. It was razed to make way for the Mercer store in 1957.
And that's the Mercer store right there. So.
And we have, on the movie page from 1932, we have a tiny little advertisement for the Kinema. It doesn't really compare with the Warner's advertisement, but they were going to be seeing Matahari with Greta Garbo at the theater. And one of our great photos that you see a lot of the time is this one from 1940, Errol Flynn, Kinema's marquee, completely decorated for Seahawk. So part of the early history that didn't last very long, but again, another fantastic theater that we have in this district, because it became the theater district, the hotel and theater district.
Were any of these theaters live theaters too?
I believe that this one probably overlapped with vaudeville, and something I read said the Wilson overlapped with vaudeville, but I don't really believe it because it was built. Maybe it did.
Yeah. Wilson and Warner's were both vaudeville.
Right. So I think there was a lot of just whatever they could get. Keep the venue being used.
Yes.
Right.
So we're gonna walk down to the corner here and talk about what was on this location before we cross.